Did you know Canada is quietly leading the world into a boycott of the United States, and the whole world is joining in? What started as a small reaction to tariffs has ballooned into something nobody anticipated. Picture grocery stores stripped bare of American products, scrapped summer vacation trips to New York and Florida, and European villages switching out Coca-Cola for local apple cider. Initially, Canadians thought it was a joke. How could Canada possibly damage America's economy? But then the indicators began emerging. Supermarkets in the state of British Columbia started displaying local products with Canadian flags with pride. Customers shunned U.S. products. Trips to America declined by over 70%. Suddenly, the world realized something incredible. If Canada could resist, so could the rest of the world. And that's just what occurred. Mexico, Denmark, France, Spain, India, 6 large economies. Every one of them signed on to the movement, if only because they saw the potential for personal gain. Together, they did something much larger than a trade war. From China substituting American beef with Australian products to European apps that enable individuals to bypass U.S. brands, the boycott went global. This isn't just about politics. It's about everyday choices in grocery stores and restaurants that ripple through the global economy. And we're not just talking about oranges or soda. This is billions of dollars, collapsing tourism, and even allies rejecting U.S. defense deals. This story is too big to ignore. So hit like and subscribe right now, because today we're breaking down how Canada's boycott spread like wildfire and changed the global economy forever. It started with Canada, America's nearest neighbor and among its biggest trading partners. When President Trump put tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum, Ottawa might have taken the standard diplomatic path. It did otherwise. Canadians reacted in a manner nobody anticipated, not with threats, not with guns, but with their wallets. Overnight, mundane shopping became politicized. Grocery shelf families paused to scan labels. If the product was made in the United States, they quietly set it back on the shelf. Supermarkets soon picked up on it and ran with it. They labeled Canadian-grown products in bold maple leaf flags. U.S. items vanished, replaced by Canadian, European, or South American-made ones. The boycott extended beyond food. American automobiles remained unsold on dealership forecourts. Disney World and New York vacations became unattractive as Canadians opted to vacation at home or abroad. Travel advisories merely hastened the trend. Summer flights from Canada to the United States plummeted by over 70%, a stunning decline for 2 such closely linked nations. But this wasn't solely about not purchasing American products. It became a point of national pride. To Canadians, shopping locally was a way of standing up for themselves against unfairness. That pride spread, and the message was unmistakable. If Canada could defy America's hegemony, the world could as well. If Canada was the lit match, Mexico was the gasoline. Mexico has long been one of America's largest export markets and a critical node in North America's supply chain for decades. But when Trump slapped tariffs on it, threatened to construct the wall, and publicly demeaned Mexican leaders, regular citizens lashed back. Stop buying American. That was the unofficial mandate circulating in Mexico. Shop at a supermarket in Mexico City or Guadalajara, and you could witness the change with your own eyes. Where previously American apples or yams lined the shelves, now you found fruit from Chile, Ecuador, or Italy. In some chains, U.S. goods all but disappeared, replaced by South American imports, European imports, or domestic farms. This boycott was not loud. There were no street protests. Rather, it was a quiet, daily decision by millions of households who simply opted to purchase something different, and the effect extended far beyond the grocery shelf. Tourism was hit hard. Mexicans have traditionally been a leading source of travelers to the United States, but suddenly those numbers began falling rapidly. In just the first quarter, air travel from Mexico to U.S. destinations declined by 25%. Families that used to spend their holidays in Los Angeles or Orlando stayed at home and visited Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, and Baja California instead. The pesos remained in Mexico, and so did the pride. The message was clear. If America didn't show respect to its neighbor, Mexico wouldn't be spending its pesos on the other side. To Mexicans, this wasn't politics, it was personal. And by doing things differently, Mexico demonstrated something strong. Even a nation with deep ties to the United States was able to walk away. After that, the world began to take notice. Number 3, Denmark. Denmark's boycott started with one of the oddest diplomatic confrontations in recent history. In 2019, President Trump floated the idea that the U.S. should buy Greenland, a massive island that belongs to the Kingdom of Denmark and is home to more than 50,000 people. What might have been intended as a bold, real estate-style offer turned into an international insult. Denmark's prime minister dismissed the idea as absurd, and many Danes saw it as a dismissal of their sovereignty. But the backlash extended well beyond headlines. Everywhere in Denmark, people showed their anger not by demonstrations, but by their pocketbooks. Supermarkets started introducing Made in Europe labels so customers could easily exclude U.S. products, and the Danes took notice. From food to fashion to packaged foods, American brands started to fall behind. Even small decisions, such as purchasing Danish cheese rather than an imported variety, became silent acts of defiance. For Denmark, the Greenland crisis was a matter of pride and honor. It illustrated that even a small country could resist, but not with guns, with shopping carts. And on that note, Denmark became part of the list of nations rewriting international trade one shopping cart at a time. Number 4, France. If Denmark's boycott was quiet, France's was public and direct. French politicians, spearheaded by President Emmanuel Macron, did not hesitate to characterize America's tariffs as brutal and unjust. Yet the harshest reaction did not emanate from politicians. It came from common citizens. The French people concluded that if Washington wished to have a trade war, they would battle it on their terms, by refusing American products. One of the most emblematic acts was executed by small villages and local towns. In festivals and civic affairs, Coca-Cola, the worldwide symbol of American culture, was substituted with locally produced apple juice. It wasn't merely beverages, it was about pride. Online, the movement accelerated even more. Social media efforts called on consumers to boycott U.S. brands and spread lists of substitute products manufactured in Europe or France. And the boycott didn't end there. American behemoths such as Tesla, McDonald's, Amazon, and Apple were quickly the focus of consumer backlash, and it was effective. Polls indicated that 6 in 10 French citizens favored a boycott of American products. Tourism joined in as well. Numerous French tourists openly declared they would not set foot in the United States while Trump remained in office. The numbers backed it up. Travels from France to America plummeted, eroding one of America's most lucrative sources of foreign tourism. For France, the boycott was both cultural and economic. It wasn't just about rejecting unfair treatment. It was about proving that a proud nation could stand tall by supporting its own industries. Number 5, Spain. Spain will not always be leading international headlines like France or Canada, but its contribution to the boycott was equally valuable. In this case, resistance did not begin with passionate political speeches. It began with a simple message communicated in stores, at home, and on social media: shop local. The reasoning was simple. Why purchase American oranges, lettuce, or salad kits when the best of the world's produce is being grown by Spain? Campaigns circulated across Spanish cities encouraging shoppers to consume locally produced fruits and vegetables from Andalusia or Valencia rather than United States imports. In supermarkets, it became apparent. Shelves that once stocked American convenience foods now sported Spanish or European competitors. But the boycott didn't end with groceries. Social media provided the boycott with speed. Activists and ordinary Spaniards uploaded lists of American brands to shun, as well as recommendations for local substitutes. Hashtags, Comprar Local and Buy Local, picked up speed, particularly among young Spaniards who wanted to make simple purchases an act of resistance. For Spain, this movement had cultural significance. Spaniards are extremely proud of their food culture and agricultural tradition. Avoiding U.S. imports wasn't about tariffs, it was about honoring national identity. Restaurants rode the trend by emphasizing local ingredients more than ever before, protest turning to pride. Spain's boycott may have appeared small alongside other economies, but it demonstrated how global politics and local pride can merge, and how little daily decisions can collectively become something powerful. Number 6, India. India's joining the boycott could well have been the most important of all, merely due to size and economic influence. With more than 1 billion citizens, India is among the world's fastest-growing consumer markets. American businesses regarded India as the holy grail for years. Fast food chains, technology companies, and retailers competed to have stores and grab the growing middle class. But everything shifted overnight with President Trump imposing 50% tariffs on Indian products. Rather than concede, Indian business leaders and politicians mobilized citizens to resist. Proponents of Prime Minister Narendra Modi amplified anti-American boycott campaigns. What made this movement particularly potent was the fact that it didn't emanate from politicians. It came from citizens. Regular consumers got involved. U.S. household brands once representing aspiration, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Amazon, Apple, became overnight icons of exploitation. In a marketplace as gigantic as India, that shift was seismic. The irony could not be more pronounced. India, a nation with more Domino's pizza stores than any other American chain, was now calling for its citizens to boycott it. For Indians by the millions, the boycott was much more than tariffs. It was about pride, self-sufficiency, and establishing independence globally. Being local brand savvy was no longer simply shopping. It was a patriotic gesture. Purchasing second-hand attire or boycotting U.S. electronics became tiny yet potent methods of conveying a message. India's inclusion demonstrated something enormous. This boycott was not simply a quibble between neighbors or an American backlash from allies. It had become international. From North America to Europe to Asia's largest democracy, regular citizens were changing trade and politics with the decisions they made each day. From Canada's spark to India's huge pushback, 6 countries demonstrated that consumer choices could create a global phenomenon. And with that, the immutable hegemony of the U.S. economy no longer appears certain. So that is the big question. Does this boycott signal the start of America's decline on the world stage? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the global events shaping our future.